Hello everybody, how are you tonight? If you don't know me, I'm Wendy. I'm an independent chalk couture designer and we're going to have some chalking fun tonight. So let me just pull you up over here so I can see your comments on my laptop and we can chat. Here we go. Out in my shop here, I don't get the best internet connection, so sometimes my laptop's a little bit slow changing over here. Okay, here we go. All right, that should do it. So tonight we've got a couple of projects on the go. I am going to create a couple of pillow covers. We're going to use 3 transfers to kind of have, you know, matchy pillow covers, but not the same, kind of similar. So we've got Go Jump in the Lake, we're going to use on one of them. Then we are going to use part of this transfer. We'll probably go with Lake Life. So we're going to steal the lake from that one. And we'll put a couple of Adirondack chairs underneath that. We're using red pillow covers for this tonight. And the reason I've chosen these is because I'm going to put these up at our place at the lake. I've got a guest room and I've kind of got some bright primary colors happening in there. So I was thinking I would put them there, up at the lake, Lake Life. I'm going to set this aside for right now, and I'm going to start with our bigger project. So what we have is our Sylvie board. This is an 18 by 18 Sylvie board. As you can see, we have the rooster on it at this point. And we're going to remove the rooster, and we are going to add this cute spring transfer, Hello Spring. So we're going to get started on that, and we'll get this big project out of the way. So if you're joining us and you're not familiar with Chalk Couture, hey Trisha, how are you? Just show you that once the chalk paste dries, this is a rechalkable surface. When it dries, it's not smudgeable at all. But I can remove this design easy enough with just a spritz of water. I'm going to give that a good once over because I've got my paste on there a little thick, especially when I was blending the colors. I'll just let that sit there for a second. And then we're going to use our board scraper. This is actually a brand new product that we just came out with our February catalog. Fantastic. It removes the paste right off the board. Easy peasy. Look at that. So how is everybody doing? Is everybody surviving isolation and self-isolating? It's not easy, is it? We're just so used to being on the go, and it's not a bad thing though. It kind of forces us to slow down a little bit and be you know, just enjoy life a little bit more. Not run like we normally do. All right. So let me get some of this paste off here. Get the excess. Right, toss that out. Now I'm going to take my board eraser. This is just nice sponge. It's got a bit of a texture to it, so it just lifts up any paste that's remaining here. And as you can see, we've got no ghosting or anything. It really cleans up quite nicely. And just paper towel, and we'll dry up our board. ready to go, ready to chalk a new design. This was actually what drew me to Chalk Couture, and I thought this was absolutely phenomenal that you could have a beautiful design, and they've got beautiful transfers and designs. And if you put them onto a rechalkable surface, anything that's solid, non-porous, you can actually change up your design with the holidays, with the seasons, with anything. And I actually have a few boards that are hanging in my house, and that's exactly what we do. I change them up with all the different seasons. Let me put glasses on so I can see you guys. There we go. All right, so let's throw that off to the side. So this is our transfer. It's a reusable silkscreen transfer. You can, by company standards, you can use it up to 8 to 12 times, but if you take really good care of your transfers, you're going to get a lot more use out of them than just that. And because we're putting it on a pretty smooth, solid surface, we want to fuzz our transfer. And with that, I mean, we're going to pick up some lint on it, just so it doesn't stick too firmly to our surface. If it does, when I lift it, I'm going to risk stretching my transfer. As you can see, it's pretty sticky there. So I'm going to cheat and do it upside down this way. And all I'm doing is picking up a little bit of lint, just so it doesn't stick too firmly. Alright, get that upper corner a little bit more there. There we go. And this is our beautiful 18 by 18 Sylvie board. Let me just make sure I have it the right way. I have been known to put my designs on here, and sometimes my hanger's at the wrong end. I just get too excited. What can I say? Too much fun. Alright. So I'll just get that centered on the board. This one's actually pretty easy because the design isn't necessarily a centered type design, and the transfer also pretty much fits the board. So that's a good thing. So if you're just joining us, we're doing actually 3 projects tonight. We're going to do our Hello Spring transfer here, and then we have a couple of pillow covers that we're going to blend some transfers. We use a few different transfers to create a design there. I left a little paste on that. All right, so I'm just smoothing it out to get any air bubbles that might be caught underneath out. As I said, with all the openings, they're not like a stencil where it's just open. It's actually a very, very fine silk screen. And the only way you're going to really have any bleeding or have any trouble is if you've got an air bubble or your transfer isn't completely adhered right next to one of the openings. So I think we're good there. So I'm going to actually start with the outer ring, and by doing that, I can lift my transfer because it's going to take a little bit longer to do, and I don't want my paste to dry in the silk screening. So I'm going to work my way around and my other stuff here. I'm going to work my way around, and I'm going to lift as I go just so I don't have any difficulty with it drying. So if you aren't familiar with our products, this is actually our regular chalk paste. We also have a chalk ink, which you'll see tonight because we're going to be working with that. And it's about the consistency of sour cream or a nice yogurt. And if it's a little bit thicker, this isn't too bad, but I'm going to add a little spritz of water and just mix that in just to get it just a little thinner. So where's everyone watching tonight? Oh, I recognize a few faces there. How's everybody doing tonight? Okay. So this is, I believe, meadow green. Yes, it is. So we'll use a little bit of meadow. And actually, you know what? Maybe I will, once I get over to this area, I think this one's a little, let it soak with a little bit of water, and then I'll stir it up. Once I get over to the leaves, I might add a little bit of a lighter green and get a little bit of a variation there. Okay. So I'm just going to push our paste through our screening. Just moving it along. You don't use a lot of paste. I'm going to remove any excess. This is such a pretty transfer. I've actually done it. I'll show it to you after. I've got a tray over here that I've actually used this transfer on, and it came out quite pretty. I'm going to use similar colors with this tonight because I liked some of the color combination there. I'm just taking all my excess off here. You're wondering what I'm up to. Putting it back in the jar, and now I'm just going to lift the area that I've done. I'm just going to lay it back down again. Hello, Shelley. Did you get all your chores done today? You had a daunting task ahead of you today. All right, so I'm just going to let that fall back into place. And it's, as long as I've pulled the paste out of the screening, it's not going to fall back into it and lift it. It's just going to sit over top of it, so we won't have a problem with it drying in the screening. Okay, this guy's a little bit drier. Quite as smooth as my other one. This fella hit some winter cold in my shipment in the winter, and it changed the consistency a little bit. It still works great. It's just not quite the smoothness that we're used to. Okay, that's a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit of this, maybe just on some of these leaves over here. Maybe just where the sun hits it, or it's a fresh leaf, they have some variation in color. Oh, well, that's good. So you're done for the day. The pictures I saw, it looked like you were making some headway there, so that's good. Okay, I think I'm going to leave that at that. And I'm going to go through and do my green, and there's a few flowers in the pattern here. And then I'll get into some of those. I'll lift it and we'll relay it, and then we'll just push those areas down. It's kind of fun choosing all your colors and blending everything. If you caught us last night, we did a nice hot mess technique and did the Namaste elephant. You'll have to look back on this page, Simply Creative Chalking, and I posted pictures of that today so you can see what we were up to last night. All right. I'll just get this smoothed in. I'm going to start up here. Some of these areas are a little bit tighter. I'm just going to, normally you wouldn't blend your colors, but the lighter green with the dark green will blend in fairly easily. So I'm not too worried about that. So what was everyone else up to today? Anybody get out and about a little bit, go for a walk along the, well, I guess you can't really walk along the boardwalk, but just get out, get a little fresh air, even out in the yard. I guess they're discouraging even walking in the boardwalks and pretty much everywhere now. Oh well, it's for our own good. That's okay. This too shall pass. It truly will. All right, so I'm going to leave that at that. And I'm going to lift this side, and then we'll lay it back down and we'll do our flowers. Can you see it coming along there? Okay, so I'm just going to let that just flop right down into this place again, and I'm just going to push down where I want to paste, just to make sure I don't have any air bubbles right there. I'm done with my greens. I'll get those put away. And I think I am going to do Couture Coral for my Hello Spring and also my flowers. I'm going to repeat the color. And have a nice bright pop of color. What do you think? Couture Coral's getting low, but I think I have enough. Isn't that a beautiful color? Love that. So let's do it over here on our flowers, and then we'll lift and lay again. Unless I probably can do my wording pretty quickly. Maybe we'll just keep going. Okay. I thinned this out a little bit before we started, and I thinned it quite well, I think. It's a little bit thinner than I would normally use, but it will work just fine. This is such a pretty transfer. Have any of you worked with this transfer yet? Oh, thanks, Shelley. You like it? I'm trying to work fast here so I don't have anything drying on me. If you get it pulled out too thin, it will dry up on us, and we don't want it drying in our transfer. All right, I think we're good. Just pull off some of our excess. All right, let's go for the reveal. You guys get to see it before I do. Oh, that's not too bad. I don't mind that at all. I'm just going to hang my transfer back here. And I'll show you my tray as well. That one almost did similar design there, but it's quite cute on a tray. And then I just sprayed it with a thin polyurethane, so that sealed it so it's ready for use. And here is this one. I think the only thing I would have done differently is I went with the darker green. I might have preferred going with a bit of a lighter green. That's a bit dark for the black, but it's not too bad. I don't mind that. It's a little pop of color. So that is our first project for tonight. And we'll get ready for our second project. Just make sure I don't have anything, because we're working with pillow covers here. I just don't want to have any paste or water or anything to dirty them. Alrighty, so here is tonight's project. So we're doing 2 red pillow covers if you weren't here to join us. And there we go. We're going to do one that says, "Go jump in the lake." And then my next one, I'm going to use this lake, so I'll have to clean up my pillow cover, or my transfer. I'm going to say Lake Life, and then I'm going to steal the Adirondack chair from this one and put a couple of Adirondack chairs at the bottom. So let's get that going. If I get my 2 covers ready, maybe I think I'm still gonna have to wash that transfer in between. So I already have one cover prepared. I have a inking mat inside this, and the reason for an ink mat is to flex there so you can see it's pretty sticky there. So you just put that inside your pillow with the adhesive side up to where you're working, and your fabric will stick to that. And as you're chalking away, you're not going to have your fabric sliding or rippling underneath. So it has 2 purposes. And when you're doing a pillow cover, tag's getting stuck here. There. When you're doing a pillow cover, always think about once your pillow forms in it, you've got rounded edges to the sides and to the bottom. So you don't want your image down to the bottom, because then your image or your lettering is going to be hidden under the bottom fold of it. And obviously too much to the top, that when your pillow is sitting there, your first word is sitting along it. So that's about the only thing to really consider when you're positioning your transfers. All right. I'm just smoothing it out. I've got that sticky side underneath it, and I'm just getting rid of all my little wrinkles, bumps. I want a nice flat surface to work with. And that looks pretty good. So what we'll do tonight is we'll start by inking our design, and then I'm going to let them dry overnight, and then tomorrow I will heat set them. So with the ink, works in the same fashion as the paste. You use the same transfers. The ink is not too much different. It's a little smoother. It's got more of an oily finish to it. It does take longer to dry than the paste does. But you want to let it dry really well, and then when you're working with ink, you're always going to heat set whatever your project is. You could let it dry, you could use it on another surface and not heat set it, but then it's not a permanent design. So the ink is made to be heat set after. So I will heat set this with, I'm going to use my Cricut Easy Press, but if you have an iron, that works just as well. And you just use a medium heat. With my Easy Press, I use 325, and it's 30 seconds on the front side with a parchment paper covering it, and then flip it inside out. And I put the parchment paper in between the 2 layers just so, because you've got the two right sides, the back of your pillow and the front of your pillow together. I just don't want my design to transfer over to the back of the pillow at all. So I put the parchment paper inside and then on just between the heat and the surface that I'm working on. If you're using an iron, you're going to want to heat set it for 4 minutes on each side. All right, so let's start with this big guy. Almost wondering if I'm going to save and put my paddles differently. I want this to be a nice simple design, so maybe I'll leave it that way. And because I'm working with fabric, I'm not going to fuzz it like you saw me do on the last one. I want to be able to, I want it to stick really, really well. So we're not fuzzing. I don't think I'm going to put the paddles on this one. I think I like kind of the positioning right there. And I'm going to leave the paddle off. So again, smooth it out nicely. Oh, thanks. You like that tray? I love those trays. I saw them on sale. It's in the beginning of last summer, and I bought 4 of them. And I still have some I haven't used. And you know when you really like something and you just want to make sure that the design is the right design for it. You don't want to waste it on something that you might tire of. Or so I still have a couple left that I haven't chalked on. All right. I think we're just going to do a plain white with this. I'm going to keep it really, really, really simple. If I were doing it and spent a little bit more time and not doing it on live, I might have taken my 2 paddles and actually put them in behind, let it dry, and then come back and chalk over it. But in the essence of time, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So this is just really easy. When you're working with a fabric too, you don't want your transfer to ripple and you don't want your fabric underneath the ripple. So I always kind of hold it and work away from where I'm holding it. And you can kind of see the consistency of your paste on your fabric, and you kind of watch just to make sure that you're getting a good coverage, a good thick coverage to it, that you don't have thinner areas that aren't quite as thick as other areas. Now this transfer does have some distressing to it. It has areas that are going to be speckled because that's the way they've designed it to be. So it does get that older, weathered look to it. And again, I'm using about medium pressure. As I said earlier, the ink is a lot smoother and almost a creamier finish to it. So it really spreads quite easily and it doesn't dry quite as quickly. And I just kind of use maybe, I don't know, when I'm at a 60 degree, 45 or 60 degree angle generally. And I don't press too hard, medium pressure. I just want to spread the paste around. I don't need to put any muscle behind it at all. If you get too aggressive with it, then you can force some of the ink underneath and some bleeding, because then you're going to cause your transfer or your fabric to ripple. So I'm just working away. I'm just being careful that I know where I am and what my transfer looks like in that area. That looks like it's lifted a little bit right there. Just try and coax it along to fall into place as I get there. And really, it's about as easy as that. And how long did that take me? And I'll have a cute pillow for my place up at the lake. I think that looks good. So I'm going to throw this into my water bath over here. We're going to have to wash this up because I want this word, this lake word. There we go. That's pretty easy. Let's get this into the water so it can start soaking and doing its thing. All right. So hold this up and I'll show you this one and we'll get our next one ready to go. Pretty simple. Love it. Home decor in minutes. It truly is. And as I said, the bedroom that I'm going to put this in, I've got a couple of beds in there. It's actually a loft. I've got some primary colors, basically whites. I've got some bright yellow. I do have some red pillows in there already, some great big I can't think of the name of the pillow. Anyway, I've got those at the head of the bed, and this will be a cute little throw pillow just to set off the room. So we'll let that dry. I'm going to leave the ink mat in it to dry, but please remember, if you're doing this yourself, remove the ink mat. This is something that people forget. Remove the ink mat before you heat set it, because your ink mats don't do very well with that. Okay, so we've got our next one just about ready to go. I'm going to set this off to the side here, and we're going to clean this transfer so we can use that lake word for it. Okay. Looks like this one got a little bit of our pet hair on it when it hit the floor. And I'm just going to dampen my towel just so my adhesive backing doesn't stick too firmly to it. And I'll bring that out. And see how easy it is to get your transfer turned around to use it again. We've been doing this a lot recently, haven't we, Shelley? Cleaning our transfers and reusing them while we're working away. And just to get this ready to go a little more quickly, I'm going to dry this side and then we're going to clean the other side. And we'll dry that a little bit. And it should be ready to go pretty quickly. I like to use the board eraser on this side as well, very gently. I don't want to scrub it to lift my adhesive backing, but it does pull any paste stuck into little crevices and that right out. So I'm just going to set this onto the backing. Set it off to the side here for a second while we get the rest kind of ready to go, and that can continue to dry. It doesn't take too long for your adhesive to come back onto the back of it. So let me just make sure that I don't have any mess here. When you're working with obviously a pillow cover and you get ink on it, It's a little bit harder to get that, out. So, all we want is the Adirondack chair on this one. Yes, you want to use the transfer over and over again, and then your heart cries if the transfer gets discontinued, and the one that you have is the only one you get. So if you ever get the opportunity to buy some up, and so when your faithful old transfer you love dies, you get another one to back it up. I did that just before the last set of transfers released. I had a few favorites in there. All right. So, Lake Life. So, Life is going to go down here. So I'm going to get this set up and cheat a little bit. I'm going to cover up where I don't want it. That, and we're going to do the same with this one. So all we want is lake. So I'm going to cover this part. All right. That keeps things pretty simple, doesn't it? I think I'm going to do my Adirondack chairs in gray. So let's just center this one a little bit. Since we're only using a couple of words. I wonder what that would look like if I left the paddle there. What do you think? Do you want to put the paddle in behind? It's not too bad. I could line that right up like that and put my two Adirondack chairs at the bottom. What do you think of the paddle? Let's have a vote. Leave the paddle in. Can you guys see it there? There's lake and the paddle, and then we're going to put life, and then we're going to put two Adirondack chairs here at the bottom. Or just put Lake Life and the two Adirondack chairs. I see a few of you on there. Give me a vote. 1 for add the paddle, 2 for no paddle. Give me a 1 or a 2. What do you think? I'll take that just a little bit higher, just in case we add the paddle. I might be lagging. I have a 2, so no paddle from Shelley. Who else wants to weigh in on this one? So far we're no paddle. Crystal, no paddle. All right, no paddle it is. So I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm just going to do lake first. I'm going to pull it down a little bit lower. Can do that. I was going to say I'll cover the paddle area, but all right, that's wanting to lift a little bit because I've got my paper there. All right, so let's start with that. How are you doing tonight, Miss Crystal? Oh, you want the paddle. Oh, now you're complicating it. Now we've got a 50-50. Okay, new vote. 1 with the paddle, lake, the paddle across here, life, and our two Adirondack chairs down at the bottom. Or 2, no paddle. So it just says lake, life, and 2 Adirondack chairs. So vote for number 1 with a paddle, number 2 without a paddle. Because we're we've got a tie. So 1 with paddle for Crystal, 2 without paddle for Shelley. Okay, there's a few more people there. I need a tiebreaker. Come on, guys, you can do it. I need a tie-breaking vote here. 1 or 2? 1 with the paddle, move life down. 2 without the paddle, and just move life up a little bit. Shannon says the paddle. I don't see Shannon's post, no. Okay, so Shannon, you say add the paddle then. Is that what she's saying, Crystal? Are we doing a paddle? I could do the paddle in Storm Gray. How would that look? And actually, I could do it with leaving everything there in place. So she's a paddle. So we've got 2 paddles and 1 no paddle. Okay, I'm easy. Let's do paddle. Yes, Shannon says number 1. Okay, Shannon, thank you. You're the tiebreaker. Perfect. I'm running out of white, but I think we might be able to make it through this project. Let's see how we do. I'm getting it on me. So these will be kind of fun up at the lake. Kind of nice to have your own personal touch on your decor. I love that part of this. When you have friends over after COVID-19 and they comment, oh, I just love your decor, and you go, oh, thank you, I made it myself. You must do that all the time, Crystal, do you? Shelley? Shannon, do you do that too? I think I've got some Chalk Couture people on here. Okay, let's see if I've got enough to do life down here. I've got a lump in it. Let's get rid of that lump. So we'll grab a little bit more. All right. I might have to open up that other jar. Squeeze a little bit more out. It's good to the last little drop. Okay. All right, I'm going to get my excess off. And then I'll do my paddle. Like I said earlier, the ink lasts takes a little bit longer to dry, so I can probably squeeze out enough time to get my paddle in. I'm gonna reach under here and grab my other squeegee without disrupting everything. There we go. Okay, this is Storm Gray. Love this color. Love it in combination with the white. Very, very versatile color. It's a favorite. Okay, so let me lift these. Paper there. Without messing everything up. That in the water. There's my cheater sheets. This is what you don't want to do. Don't stick your transfers together. All right. So, let me me just clean my hands before I touch this, and I'll hold it up and show you. Get my Lysol wipes, use them sparingly. I actually found them kind of just as all this started. I got lucky, and there were last two on a shelf right at the cash at Home Depot one day, and I grabbed them. And talk about how lucky was that. So we're rationing them. We're not wasting them at all. I used to whip through them like nothing before, but not anymore. I guess that's kind of life, eh? Everybody's eating at home, and you're using all your vegetables. You're not throwing them away. You're making sure that you use everything. No wastage. All right. So we have Lake Life, and right down here at the bottom, anything on it, we're going to put 2 Adirondack chairs. So we're going to do that really quickly. Here and here, I think. I'm going to sit side by side because that's what I do at the lake anyway. We're kind of reversed colors because I have red Adirondack chairs sitting down on the dock. And on a Friday night when we head up there, that's where we hang out. We head straight for the dock and have a nice cold drink on the dock. Okay, I think that looks pretty good there. And again, I'm not fuzzing it because I'm working with a canvas fabric, and I want it to stick really, really well. All right. So I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to lift the transfer and use it right away and put one right next to it. And again, I'm just kind of making sure that I've got really, really good coverage, because sometimes with the fabrics, if you don't get it thick enough, you'll see a little bit of a speckling with the canvas and that, where your ink's just not quite thick enough there. So I think I'm pretty good with that. 1 Adirondack chair. Let's see if I can get this lined up right. I want the legs to sit about the same height. See if I'm close here. Not really. That look pretty good. Can you see from your angle? That's too bad. Those two are pretty close. Those two are pretty close in the arms. Well, if it's not close, I'll just blame my husband for moving the chairs around, wrecking the feng shui. Isn't that what we do? Blame them for probably a little more than we should. Actually, I should check, is he watching? I might get myself into some trouble. Oh well, he knows. We're all good. All right, so we're just about done, and you can see how quick and easy we made 3 pieces of decor. How long have we been at this? I don't see a timer on here. Can anybody see a timer on your screen? Sometimes you can see a timer where I can't. Can't be that long because I started about 6:30, so we're about 50 minutes. And I've been chatting, so if I wasn't chatting so much, I would have been done faster, honest. Okay. that's not too bad. I got fairly close on that. Get this into my water. So let me make sure my hands are clean and I'll show you our 2 pillow covers. Let me just close this up. Because that would be exactly what I would do, right? Get this far, not get anything on my pillows, and then hold them up at the very end and get finger marks on them. Okay. I think we're good. So let me reach this other one. So if you didn't see us do this one, so this is Go Jump in the Lake. And this one, the ink, actually it's not too bad. It's a little bit tacky. The ink does take a little bit longer to dry than the regular paste. You can use a blow dryer and blow it and dry it a little more quickly. If I'm doing a workshop, that's exactly what we do, is we blow dry it quickly, and we heat set it and everything all in a few hours in a workshop. So I can do that. It's best to leave it overnight. And then this is the one we just finished. How's that? Those will look kind of cute together. Maybe I won't even hide them away on the beds in the bedroom. Maybe I'll throw them on the couch, put them out for everyone to see. I think they're kind of fun. So I just buy inexpensive fiber fill covers or inserts. I've started buying them at IKEA. You can buy them there, or I should say a big Swedish box store. And so you can get them pretty inexpensively there, and you can get ones that are fiber filled, or they actually have synthetic pillow, or sorry, feather and what have you as well. So if you like that type of feeling to it, or you can go to a fabric store and get a high-end one for sure. So let me set that there. Let me see. Oh, Shannon, you're put them on my chairs outside. That is a good idea. That is a good idea. I wonder, maybe, does anybody know on here? I'm going to put it out to the world. Can I find a spray for fabric that would protect it from the sun? Is there something like that out there? Because I'd be afraid that these pillow covers would fade quickly. I could put them under the covered porch though. They won't get direct sun there. That would work too. The feather inserts there are $10. Yes, good deal, eh? That's pretty good, because normally you would pay $40 or $50 for a feather insert, that's for sure. And I'll show you our other project that we did a little bit earlier. We re-chalked our Sylvie 18 by 18. Get it out of the, there we go. Get it out of the light there. And we did our Hello Spring. In hindsight, I probably would have used a bit of a darker green, or even go really not so traditional. And I've often used white on the vines. So the next one, maybe I will do that. Actually, I could show you this one here. I did do another one. I've got it hanging right here with a couple of different colors. So this one I did use the lighter green, and did the flowers in a couple of different colors. So that's not, that's something that's a little bit different. You're saying, oh yeah, that's a good idea. The sage green would be very, very pretty. Very pretty. And I did show this earlier, but for anybody late to the party, this is a tray that I did with the same transfer. Try to get the shine off it there. So little handles. So you can actually chalk onto anything. So this just goes to show you, found these trays on sale. I bought a few of them, and I've just been finding some favorite transfers and that to chalk on. Now with this being a tray, I have sprayed it with a clear polyurethane spray. So then if I had drinks that were going to sweat on it or anything like that, it won't cause my paste to run. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Oh, thanks, Shannon. Did you get your closet doors done with the chalk paint? You had a project that you were going to work on last week. I guess it was, or maybe, yes it was, yeah, it was last week. It was last week, it was. Or no, I guess we just got the paint here earlier this week. Oh my God, the weeks are blending together. Where did I get the trays? Those I actually found, and you might come across them still, at Loblaws. Now, it was at the Loblaws in Lindsay that I found them, but often you'll see in their home decor sections, they'll clear stuff out. So they might show up this spring. They came in that color, and I think they also came in a mint green color, blue-green color, almost a tealy as well. And yeah, they were on sale. I think they were something like $8 each. So I think they were 50% off. So I grabbed them up, and I think I bought 4 or 5 of them. And like I said earlier, I keep waiting for those special projects that you want to use something like that for. Like once you chalk on it, then you're committed to it. That's not, I wouldn't say that's a rechalkable surface. You could probably spray paint it afterwards, and it would be. Yeah, check your store. It was probably last June, maybe July that I saw them, but they might have put the spring summer stock away and have it coming out again for this season, so they just might show up this spring. And you never know, with all of this going on, they might be pulling some of that out to try and clear everything out and make room to stock more dry goods and that in the back. So they might be pulling all this out. So, well, I guess that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. A couple of housekeeping things. I do have bundles of product on my VIP page. If you would like to click the link that's on this page, my Simply Creative Chalking page, it will send in a request to join my VIP page. So I have lots of bundles. I do offer some special pricing in that page, which I can't offer on my regular business page, so it's really worth it being there. That's the place to be. And we have some great deals. You'll see I've posted on my Simply Creative Chalking page on some of the surfaces that have been reduced in price. Club Couture, lots of great deals for our Club Couture members. If you want to join the club, shoot me a link that says club, and I will send you all the information on that. And our Club Couture members get special deals every single month, and this month it's 50% off some of our textiles. Our pillow covers are one. Now this isn't a pillow cover, Chalk Couture pillow cover. I'm going to break the place. Let me grab one. I have one right here. I can show that to you. So this is actually, they come in 2 sizes. So this is their 18 by 18. Really, really nice. I actually prefer this pillow cover to this one for quality. This is the Chalk Couture pillow cover. It comes in this size, 18 by 18, and also comes in a 12 by 24 lumbar pillow size, which we have some really cute transfers for that. So that's on sale. The pennant banners are 50% off for club members. You have to be a club member. And our other banners, I can't think of the official name of them. They're really nice banners too. They got a nice little bar at the top and the bottom. They have refills, and they're all made out of this beautiful canvas. And yeah, so check out Simply Creative Chalking. Follow me, and we can spend our time and we can chalk and have some fun. I will let everybody get on to their evening. Go check out your Netflix shows you're following, and if you have any good recommendations for a good Netflix series, I think we're starting to look for a little bit more to do. I'm actually going to go play Wii. We pulled out the old Wii system and picked up the old Super Mario, so we're actually going to go and have some Wii challenges right now. So my husband's waiting for me, so I'm going to hop off here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.